And a very good morning from the Alton Towers Resort. You're watching Adventure Planet, where today I am back for what is going to be my final visit here of 2024. I cannot believe that in just a couple of days the season is over. It's gone so fast. It only feels like a month or two ago, really, that I was over in Forbidden Valley getting my first rides on Nemesis Reborn and checking out all of the new theming in that area. Honestly, cannot believe that it's almost over again for another year. Obviously, the main reason for visiting today is, of course, as is customary every year at the resort, is checking out that absolutely incredible Fireworks Spectacular. It really is fantastic. Happens over the next 3 nights, the 8th, 9th and 10th of November. And if you've not seen it, I highly recommend making every effort possible to come down. It's not only the best fireworks show in any UK theme park, it is, in my opinion, one of the best fireworks shows in the UK as a whole. And I'm really looking forward to checking it out tonight. Now, yesterday I did post a full uncut video of the show, so do check that out if you've not already done so. In this vlog, however, yes, there will be highlights of that show again a little bit later on, but I thought the focus for this one would just be to kind of, as it is my last visit all of the areas around the park for one last time, and just kind of reflecting on 2024, really, you know, the positives, the negatives, and my hopes for 2025. So that's what we're going to do. We'll head on in. We've also got some night rides to try and get on a little bit later on, because park hours today are 10 a.m. right the way through until 9 o'clock. So let's head on into Tower Street, see if there's any theming around for the nighttime spectacular today. Don't think there will be very much, but we'll check it out. We'll also have a look at some of the new merch that was recently released as well. Let's head on in. And here we are on the other side of the entrance turnstiles then for the last time in 2024. And, you know, check this out. We have got a little bit of theming around here for the Phalanx Expo 2024. We've also got Phalanx members out there welcoming everybody into the park. There they are, just standing guard over all of this. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, standing guard over all the barrels and the crates over there. But yeah, as you can see, Tower Street now looking pretty different to it was just a couple of weeks ago. All the bunting and the banners and all the Scarefest theming that was around here is all gone. The only remnants left are these little patches on the grass here of where things once stood. Yeah, it's all gone. Just a little bit of theming at the entrance, like I say, with those barrels and the Phalanx welcoming people in. But it looks as though the frogs here aren't back to their naked selves. Hey, they're kitted out in the Phalanx gear again. So they put a little bit of decoration on the frogs. That's cool. Yeah, there they are. The little Phalanx hats on, and the body armor. And that's been a good positive of 2024, really, is Tower Street. For the events that they have had here this year, Oktoberfest and Scarefest, Tower Street has always looked absolutely incredible. It really has, really well decorated. They've done a fantastic job this year. It's looked great, and I'm sure it will do for Christmas as well, as it always does with the big Christmas tree. It usually goes into place just here. But yeah, not much to see for the fireworks, which was expected, really. It is nice to see the frogs decorated up. Before we move further into the park, though, we are going to take a look in Towers Trading just to check out that new merch that's been released. Limited merch for the expo tonight. Let's go take a look. And here we are in Towers Trading then, just to take a look at some of the fireworks merch that they have in here for this season. And yeah, a lot of this we have seen before. These little hoodies here starting at £35 with the Alton Towers Fireworks logo on. We've got some generic stuff down here as well, but what's really exciting for this year is the new Phalanx Expo stuff. Yeah, look at this. Do love that logo, and if rumours are to be believed, and it certainly does look like it, doesn't it? It's very Galactica-esque. Could this be pointing to a retheme for Galactica, possibly over this closed season? We'll speak a little bit more about that when we get down to Forbidden Valley, but yeah, I do like this. Nicely embroidered on the hats there. You've got the caps here as well. Beanies are £18, baseball caps £18 as well. This is £35 for the hoodie, not embroidered again, but £35, it's not too bad. It's when it kind of hits £50 that you kind of really expect it to be embroidered, really. I do really like that, that's very cool. Got the t-shirt version of it down here as well. Nothing on the backs of them. And the t-shirt is £18. Of course, you do get your annual pass discount in here as well. And yeah, you've got the usual stuff that we've seen here before as well, like the Alton Towers Fireworks mugs and flasks as well. £12 and £16 for the mug. Do really like that. I've got one of those in the collection. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how long this merch will be staying around. It is very limited apparently, so yeah, do pick it up if you come down to the resort. I do really like it. Again, if that had been nicely embroidered, that would have been an absolute sale for me. But as it is, I think I'll probably leave it. I might pick up a cap maybe. We'll see come the end of the day. Oh, and here we are at the lawns then, and look, it's all being guarded by those Phalanx members. Love these banners up the top as well. And we've got these 4 absolutely huge screens at the back here, 2 on the right and 2 over there on the left. And there's this massive kind of countdown clock counting down the time to the start of the show, which is in 6 hours 58 minutes. There's someone stood up there as well, look at that. He's got his gun. Oh, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. I'm so excited for this show. Of course, this year, the story's all kind of based on Nemesis Reborn and the Phalanx. And it's always, like I say in the intro, an absolutely phenomenal show here. Delivered in partnership with Jubilee Fireworks and others as well, obviously setting up all kind of the audio and everything else that goes with putting on such an absolutely incredible show. There's music, lighting, lasers, and of course, those fireworks. And as mentioned in the intro, do be sure to check out the video posted yesterday of the full show from the park here. And it also allows for some great night rides as well, as the park is open until 9 p.m. Although do be aware that areas like X Sector and Dark Forest will start to close at around 5 p.m. as they try to kind of clear those areas out for safety reasons just before the show actually starts later on. And a top tip for you, if you are coming down to watch the fireworks, best place to see it is kind of around about here actually at the front of the lawns, and don't leave straight away. That's my biggest tip, as you will hit a lot of traffic congestion if you leave as soon as the show is finished. Head back into the park, get some night rides, and then leave at around about 9, half past 9, and you'll have a much better time of getting out of the car park. Let's go and take a closer look at the sign just over the back here, because it looks like there's a show happening on the main stage a little bit later on. And here's just a closer look at that sign then for the Phalanx Expo. I gotta say, I do really like this logo. I hope they do keep that at some point. If it does come as a retheme to Galactica, hopefully they do keep this logo. I really do like it. But here you go, Alton Towers Resorts presents the Phalanx Expo. Throughout your evening you can expect jaw-dropping product demos, live music, and an explosive fireworks spectacular. And yeah, what's interesting is that from 5 through until 6:50, they have actually got live shows on the stage, fully functional here. So yeah, we'll be coming down and checking that out a little bit later on. The band's high energy, funky and fun performance is not to be missed. A perfect way to begin a once-in-a-lifetime event. And there we are, new Phalanx CEO John Dalton is set to launch the latest line of Phalanx products. As Mr. Dalton's special guest, you'll be blown away by the no expense spared opening ceremony. Out of this world fireworks, lasers, lights, and explosive moments will leave you in no doubt that the future truly is Phalanx. And of course, the show starts at 7 o'clock. And yeah, as a quick look, again, just at the size of the space that they've got here, it always is quite large, and it's great to see that all the flooring's gone down as well, so you're not going to be stood in kind of, you know, all this kind of boggy grass. Luckily, like I say, with the weather today, it is looking like it's going to be staying dry, which is absolutely fantastic, as last time I came down here for Scarefest, I got absolutely soaked towards the end of the night. So yeah, hopefully that's not going to be the case today. But oh yeah, really can't wait. We've got a noodle bar at the back there as well, churros and coffee by the looks of things. We've got some of the eateries just out the front here as well. And yeah, we'll make our way back down here at 5 o'clock to catch the show over on the stage. I don't think I'm actually allowed to go any further in at the moment here, so I'll hold off until a little bit later on, and we'll head on over to CBeebies and take a little look around that area. Oh, farm shop sausages. Oh, there we are. And starting off at the first area then, it is CBeebies Land. Always a fantastic little area this. The kids absolutely love it. Always looks nice and vibrant and colourful. Of course, we've got the little bugs that were added as well. All the daisies on the tree. And it's always nicely maintained, this area. And of course, this year saw it celebrate its 10th anniversary with some shows out on the lawns. And actually, that show itself kind of turned into the main summer show, really. It went on for quite a while here at the resort. Treetop Adventure up there. Yeah, it all looks absolutely great. Postman Pat's Parcel Post just off to the right. And yeah, all just really nice and happy in here, nice and colourful. Got the sensory garden over at the back. All the sound effects in here. It is a great area, and like I say, the kids do absolutely love it. Got Hey Dougie Big Adventure badge, the big playground here. And another change for this season, saw a new station go in over at Octonauts Roller Coaster Adventure, so we'll go and take a quick look at that. Got the Treetop Adventure up here, and you know what, it's crazy that this has actually been here for 10 years. I mean, I can still remember when, you know, you had the tractor ride here and the talking barn and Berry Bish Bash, and who remembers Beastie, when the Beastie used to be just down here. Obviously now it is Octonauts Roller Coaster Adventure, but yeah, I remember when that was here. Back before Big Adventure Badge was here as well. And yeah, it's just crazy to think that that was 10 years ago. I do still wish that they would open all of this up though, just to, you know, a bit of a walk through to get to Spinball Wizard a little bit easier. There he is. And of course this year as well also saw the introduction of Bluey, along with his associated shows. Yeah, look at the station back there, all nice and colourful. And this is a great ride, manufactured by Zamperla in the summer as well. You get a nice refreshing spray from the whale here in the middle. And it is a great ride. There we go, Octonauts Roller Coaster Adventure. Estimated queue time is 5 minutes. That sounds about right, first thing in the day on a Friday. Do love the theming for it, I think it's great. Seaweed. I do love the little penguin on the back there. There he is. Seaweed. And there's some off-ride footage there then of Octonauts Roller Coaster Adventure, manufactured by Zamperla. Nice 2-lap special, that one. As I just made my way further on down into CBeebies. There we are, Postman Pat, Parcel Post. Just off to the right. Always like the theming of that. Who remembers when the tractors used to go around here? Old McDonald's tractor ride. Now we got some entertainers out here as well. There's Andy's Adventure Dynamobile. There's the sheep down here as well. And all the theming, yeah, it is nice. Like I say, it is a great area, this. I'm not sure how much longer it will actually be here. I'm not sure, you know, how much longer the license has on it here before it expires, whether the park will actually renew it at some point. But it certainly feels like it's here to stay. Here you got the Sensory Space just off to the left here. And don't forget as well, the little Explorer's Lunchbox just to the right. Absolutely fantastic place to get food, that. Probably one of the best areas in the park, actually. I mean, I tend to bring my own lunch now. I haven't today, though, so yeah, I might grab one of those sausages over on the lawns a little bit later on. Here we are. There's all the bugs. Yeah, I just can't believe that it's been here for 10 years now. It's absolutely crazy. Bugby go around there, 5 minutes. You got the Pyomatic Factory there as well. And one of the classics here in the Night Garden, the Magical Boat Ride. Usually the ride with the longest queue time here in CBeebies, but just 10 minutes for today. And like I say, it is all looking really nice and colourful. Some of the theming could do with a little bit of a touch-up. It's looking a little bit drab in some places. Maybe they'll touch some of those areas up over the closed season. But like I say, on the whole for 2024, this has been a fantastic area. An area that the kids do really enjoy. All the lighting down here. All these signposts. They look great. And then just down here to the right, we of course have the little junior drop towers. Bounce towers, whatever you want to call them. Of course, yeah, you got the stage here as well, you got the puppet theatre. So yeah, there really is plenty to do here in CBeebies. Andy's Adventures Dinosaur Dig there, another live interactive show. And here they are, Peter Rabbit, Hippity Hop. With all the music playing as well. Love the big plants on the ops cabin there. And then here it is, just off to the right then, Big Adventure Badge. Is Dougie there? He usually is. Might be a little bit early for him, I'm not too sure. It is pretty quiet as well, it being a Friday, kind of late morning now, but yeah, no sign of him. No sign of Dougie. Oh, that's a shame. But it's a great area, this. It's huge, absolutely massive space. Really well themed, all the soft flooring down as well. No, he's not there. He's usually towards the back on the stage, but yeah, not today. Never mind. And then the Furchester Hotel, that's that puppet show just in front of us here. And then Go Jetters, the Vroomster Zoom ride with a 5-minute wait just off to the right as well. It's been a pleasure for 2024 CBeebies, and I'll see you next year. Let's head on over to Spinball Wizard. And here we are then at Spinball Wizard, the park's Manor spinning coaster, which this year celebrated its 20th anniversary. Opened here back in 2004. Oi! And it is absolutely brilliant. I love this ride. So many great elements in there. And yes, it's not particularly well themed. If you want a well themed Manor spinner, definitely Chessington World of Adventures Dragon Fury is what you're after, but I do think this is still an absolutely incredible ride. And it's a 20-minute wait. And new for this season, of course, was the addition of the single rider queue here for Spinball Wizard. As you can see, just to the right of the exit path. That's where you head if you want that single rider time. By the looks of it, it's practically a walk-on, really. There's a couple of people there, so yeah, really nice and quick if you take advantage of that single rider queue. And it's good to see more of those opening up again throughout Alton Towers Resort. Of course, now you've got Spinball Wizard 13 and the Smiler, which all have their own single rider queues. Absolutely brilliant. The downside this season is that this is not going to be open for the Christmas event. If you are planning on coming down for Alton Towers Christmas, sadly this ride will not be open like it usually is. I know last year it did have some issues, quite a bit of downtime last year due to how cold it was. So maybe that's something to do with it. However, it would have been nice to have had this open. It means that the Christmas event is kind of scaled back even more again this year. So I'm going to jump on and get a ride. Hey, as it will be my last ride of 2024 on Spinball. Let's hop on. And waited just 5 minutes then for my single rider queue on Spinball Wizard, and I do, like I say, absolutely love that ride. There's some great elements in there, love the horseshoe, and yeah, again, like I say, it's not particularly well themed, but it offers a great ride experience, and for 5 minutes you can't really go wrong. It is a little bit sad that it's not going to be open for Christmas, and that kind of leads me to talk a little bit about the events this season. Now don't get me wrong, Scarefest and Oktoberfest, and no doubt the fireworks here tonight, have been exceptionally strong, but obviously we lost two events this year, Mardi Gras and Festival of Thrills, and the official blurb from the park back at the start of the season was that they wanted to focus more on quality rather than quantity. And I do have to ask, you know, do I feel like we've really seen the benefit of that? And I'm not really too sure that we have. You know, yes, we've seen Compound go in, and I'm sure this Fireworks Spectacular, if rumours are to be believed, is going to be the best one that the park have ever put on. So maybe that extra funding did go into things like that. But yeah, I'm not really too sure myself. A little bit cynical, I have to be honest. I would like to see an event or two come back next year. As I said at the start of the season, it is a long time to go from March all the way through to September with no official event. Obviously this year the gap was plugged a little bit by the CBeebies kind of summer event that became a thing. Next year obviously we're not going to have that, so I do feel like there needs to be something in there, maybe towards the start of the season. Mardi Gras was always fantastic here, really colourful, vibrant and fun, so hopefully we'll see something like that come back for the start of 2025. And as we move from Spinball Wizard then, we've now arrived at X Sector, the government-run facility. And here we are then, yeah, the first year, 2024, where X Sector has only had 2 rides, the 2 coasters, Oblivion and the Smiler. Of course, the Retro Squad was all removed at the start of this season and replaced with catering trucks on the site of Spin Jam and Twistertron. And it has left this area feeling quite barren, I've got to be honest. Yeah, it's in desperate need of flat rides here. I feel even more so. Obviously Dark Forest is very similar with just the 2 functioning roller coasters, but I feel like X Sector feels it even more, you know, without those supporting flat rides. Oh, the Smiler is absolutely awesome though. It was cleaned up a little bit this season. And of course we saw those new projections going in, which looked absolutely great. Current wait time of 30 minutes on the Smiler. It is a great ride. It's not my favourite, but it does still hold that world record for most number of inversions on a coaster at 14.
Could I please remind everyone that the Alton Towers Resort is a no smoking and vaping resort.
And just an announcement there, just to remind people to only smoke in the designated areas. But yeah, the Marmalizer is looking absolutely great and has looked great for 2024. It does ride pretty rough now though, the Smiler, I will say. But of course I will be getting on single rider queue, get my last rides in for 2024. But yeah, like I say, it has left the area feeling very barren with no supporting flat rides. I feel like this is definitely an area that needs it. Oblivion just off to the left there, unfortunately, is closed. Oh dear, wonder how long that's going to be down for. Or whether it's even open today, probably not. I'll check with the staff member just shortly. And it looks like all the catering trucks are all closed off for fireworks, no access through to these today. I've got to be honest, I was actually quite impressed with the catering trucks. The food there was pretty good. You had the bar, burgers, you had the pizza there as well, and arguably it certainly was a lot tastier than the just chicken that you can find here. But yeah, I mean, look at all this space here now. I've got to say, contentious or not, I actually think that Toxicator, or whatever it's going to be called, the suspended Huss Topspin, would have been a lot better in this area. You've got to think Forbidden Valley has already got the Blade, it's got Nemesis Subterra, Nemesis Reborn, Galactica. It's already got quite a few rides in that area. I think a Huss Topspin would have really been great here, actually. I think themed that up, I think that would have fit really well into kind of this, you know, government-run X Sector. I think they could have made it look really, really good. Yeah, so I don't know, one for the future maybe, but I really do hope that for 2026 at least, they get a new flat ride in here, as yeah, it is looking a little bit sad at the moment. And Oblivion here as well. Yeah, we'll check to see if that's been open today and when the expected opening time of that is. But for now, I am going to get one last ride in on the Smiler. Well, I say one last ride, I'll get as many rides in today as I can, maybe a night ride if I'm lucky. And Oblivion has actually been in action today. Just had a quick word with the member of staff. It has just gone down due to a minor technical delay, so hopefully that will be coming back up in action very, very soon. And one another positive thing for 2024 is that track walks obviously came back, and Oblivion was one of those, along with Wicker. And I think overall the park generally had pretty good feedback for those. I know Oblivion had a little bit of a rocky start. However, I think all those kind of issues of sort of how the track walk was actually run was all solved, and I think for the most part people really enjoyed it, and I think it was pretty fairly priced as well for what you get for that. Unfortunately, I didn't actually do any of the track walks this year, so yeah, missed out on those. We'll try and get them in next year if it comes back. It's always great to do a track walk on Oblivion. Certainly the views you get across X Sector up here is pretty fantastic and makes for some great photo opportunities. So yeah, look forward to that coming back next year, hopefully. And of course all this was redone as well, with all the kind of black and orange chevrons, which all look really good. Don't look down. I certainly won't be at the moment, not while it is down. Like I said, let's head on over to the Smiler. Waited just 15 minutes then in the single rider queue for my ride on the Smiler. Second row on there, and to be fair, that actually wasn't riding too bad, although there were a couple of people that got off of the back rows complaining of a headache, which is not surprising at all for the Smiler. Making my way back up to the towers now then, and yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, this is where we used to exit for Altonville mine tours. Tiny's Revenge, that's all blocked off, along with all this section here as well, as there are actually fireworks launched from just behind there for the show later on. So they always do block it off during that show. But the towers looking absolutely fantastic as always. And that was another good thing for 2024, is that finally, albeit part of a guided tour, you were actually allowed to go back inside there and have a look around and get back onto these rooftops and get those glorious views of X Sector and the surrounding grounds. And that was really, really good. The towers and the gardens tours, really, really interesting and worth doing if you've not already done them. Definitely recommended from my point of view, and hopefully it's something that they do bring back next year. Oh, I'm going to miss the towers for the closed season. They do look great. Such history. Incredible. And the banqueting hall window there, which was nicely refurbished not so long ago, really is imposing, isn't it? It looks absolutely awesome. And yeah, I have just noticed that just down here they do still have some of the effects left over from Scarefest actually, including the lighting and the smoke tube here. Not sure if this is going to be used for the Spectacular a little bit later on. I mean, I highly doubt it, but you never know. They've left it in there, so yeah, maybe they will do. Have to see a little bit later on. Anyway, I'm going to make my way down towards another new building that went in place for 2024. And that's just down here outside of Dark Forest. And here we are then, and we have spoken about it plenty of times throughout 2024, but I thought as we're kind of doing a bit of a season wrap up, I'd be remiss to not come down here and just take one last look at the new facilities building that went into place, which we were kind of hoping was going to be part of Scarefest 2024. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, that wasn't to be. There was a delay, and this was never used. However, I suspect strongly that this will be used for a new scare maze for Scarefest 2025, likely to replace the attic over in the towers. However, what the theme will be, no one really knows. But in terms of scale, it's pretty much exactly the same building as Compound, isn't it? So yeah, I suspect something on that kind of scale. Hopefully that kind of thrill maze as well would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on this one throughout 2025. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what this eventually becomes. And then just opposite that, we have got another little section here that's just blocked off, manned by security for more of those fireworks. Right, let's head on over to Hex. And here we are then, back at Hex, the legend of the towers. The park's Vekoma Madhouse opened back in 2000, celebrating its quarter of a century anniversary next year. 25 years old, absolutely incredible. And it's great to see it back. This was one of the big positives, really, of 2024. On the flip side, the negative was that it took so long to actually reopen. It took until Scarefest, right at the end of the season. However, it's good to see these vaults back open again. 20 minutes for the current queue time, and on the most part I'm actually pretty happy with the changes that were made here. I'm hoping it's going to have a nice and reliable 2025. The only downside for me was the lighting. I do feel like it is a little bit bright in some areas, but that's just lighting. That can easily be adjusted, especially if they get feedback on that as well. It's a simple change, and hopefully that's something that can be done maybe over the close season or obviously into 2025. Absolutely fantastic ride, great story, brilliant soundtrack, and definitely worth riding every time you come to the Alton Towers Resort. And here's the Cuckoo Cars driving school then, as we make our way down in towards what used to be Cloud Cuckoo Land, but is now obviously the world of David Walliams. I just love this zebra every time in the back here. I think it's supposed to be a zebra anyway, I'm not really too sure, but he's blue and white there. He always looks really happy, Yeah, pretty quiet in the driving school today though, as we head on down into the world of David Walliams. And yeah, look, you know my opinion of this area. I do think it's tired. I really do. I mean, some of the theming is nice, it's quite vibrant, and it has looked pretty good this season actually. Apart from this building here, this is kind of the letdown. You can see all the paint's kind of peeling off here and stuff. But Raj's bouncy bottom burp is still there, and the theatre looks really nice as well. But I just think on the whole, this area really is tired. You've got Gangster Granny the ride there just off to the left with no queue whatsoever. Raj's shop there. Yeah, like I say, it looks vibrant, but I mean, it only opened actually back in 2021, but it feels like it's been here for so much longer. I don't know, as the seasons go by, I start to dislike this area more and more. I'd like to see something original here, maybe with all kind of the Alton Towers mascots, the Clockmaker, Alton Bear, an original storyline, obviously, in the dark ride just off to the right there would be great. I just would like to see it rethemed, certainly in the next season or two. I hope it's not here for much longer than that. Got the Royal Carousel, still looks really nice there. And of course, the one remaining travelling flat ride which survived the removal of the Retro Squad is Flavio's Fabulous Fandango. And it's not too bad actually, it kind of fits the area. You got all kind of the mirror balls around and the lighting and the audio as well, and it kind of looks okay. But I would still like to see this removed for something that looks a little bit more permanent and a little better themed in, It doesn't look bad, but it's still not the best. I don't know, I just think it's time for this area to get a new lick of paint, a new theme. I'm not too sure, again, on the licensing for this area, whether it's due to expire soon, whether it's been renewed. But yeah, like I say, I hope this isn't here for much longer than another 1 or 2 seasons. Theatre does look great though. Love the big clock. And just on the other side of the back entrance to David Walliams then, we're back in what was once, a couple of weeks ago, Amigos in the Afterlife. Hey, there we go. The only bit of theming that remains is this facade here. And do watch the Scarefest vlog that I uploaded a couple of weeks ago if you want my full thoughts on all the scare mazes that they had here. I will say Amigos in the Afterlife wasn't my favorite, it really wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it, to be perfectly honest. It was an interesting concept, but again, as I said in that vlog, it's not really marketed for people like me. But yeah, it certainly wasn't my favorite maze that I've done. Question is now though, is what becomes of the dungeon? Will the dungeon make a return at the start of 2025? Or is this just gonna, I don't think they're gonna leave this building empty. I fully suspect the dungeon may go back into place, and then just every Scarefest it gets transformed probably back into Amigos in the Afterlife, obviously depending on feedback. We'll have to see what happens with that one at the start of next season. The other thing to talk about in this area, of course, is Project Horizon. Now, yeah, what has happened to that? No one really knows. The plans were approved for this back in February of 2023, so it's been nearly 2 years now, and work should have been well underway here, but as far as I'm aware, no construction or clearance has started. So yeah, I don't really know what's happening. I mean, there's clearly been a delay. I'm not sure if that delay was perhaps caused by obviously the refurbishments that they've been given to Hex, concentrating on the Skyride, you know, things like that. But yeah, I don't believe any work has actually been carried out back here yet. Could we see work starting next year? Obviously it was going to be an enclosed roller coaster set out at the back here behind all these trees. All this area is going to be kind of a brand new plaza, and the plans sounded really, really exciting. So you know, now that Hex is back open, hopefully the Skyride's back open, we'll talk about that in a minute, and then obviously Project Ocean will be finished early next year as well. Potentially work could start on this sometime next year. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I'm hoping that it's not going to get forgotten about and that it does actually happen, as like I say, the plans were quite exciting, and yeah, it'd be nice to see this area all transformed, wouldn't it? Because again, this is looking a little bit tired around here as well now. And up here you've just got a blank sign now. No amigos, no dungeon. Unless there's something on this side. Nope. It's all blank. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this area over the coming season and we'll see what happens. I'm just making my way down to Dark Forest now then, and as just mentioned, here we go. It's one of the 3 Skyride stations throughout the resort. One here at Dark Forest, another just outside Mutiny Bay, and one more down in Forbidden Valley. And it's a ride that is absolutely imperative for a park as huge as Alton Towers. And it's a transport ride that's really been missed these past 2 seasons. Of course, it opened all the way back in 1987, so it is quite an old transport ride. And a lot of this kind of, you know, the towers and the supports at various points throughout the park have been getting worked on. But yeah, they got all these stations all looking nice, getting the new liquor paint nice and refurbed. And then, yeah, the ride just wasn't able to open. Work has been happening throughout the season, like I say. And actually, it sounds as though there could be currently something happening in the station just down here now. Not too sure if the gondolas are going to be on the site here. Potentially not. Yeah, can't see anything in there. They could be at a different station. The gondolas themselves are a lot newer than the main ride. They were replaced in 2009, so I suspect the same gondolas will be used. But yeah, it looks as though work is being carried out in that station as we speak. And hopefully across other areas of the ride as well, because this really does need to be open for 2025, day 1 of the season preferably. There will be real concerns if it's not. As like I say, there's been a lot of people this season struggling to get around Alton Towers because it is such a huge park. I mean, if you think of just getting from Dark Forest to Forbidden Valley, you have to kind of cut through the gardens, which is very hilly, full of steps, and it's really not an easy trek to make. So yeah, this needs to be open day 1 of 2025. All we can do is wait and see if it is. Let's hope so. And here we are then, over at Dark Forest with that suitably spooky audio playing. Oh, sounds good today. He sends chills. And as per X Sector, just the 2 rides in this area then, both of them coasters. Rita and 13, there goes Rita. And speaking of, she'll be celebrating her 20th anniversary next year, opened all the way back in 2005. Originally carried that Rita Queen of Speed moniker, and then that was dropped. And now she is just Rita, and yes, she does ride a little bit rough now, but I do always enjoy a ride on here. 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. And it does look the part. You know, when it was rethemed as part of Dark Forest back in 2010, I really did like it. I think it looks the part here. You've got those green sections of track that had to be painted, just kind of, you know, blended into the tree line a little bit more, but it's a good ride. I just wished it ride a little bit smoother. You know, the question does become, what's going to happen to this ride in the future? I mean, obviously we know that with obviously Intamin hydraulic launch coasters, the hydraulic launch themselves, you know, they are coming to the end of their lives now. So quite possibly we could see this get replaced with LSMs, or we could be seeing a complete removal, who knows? It will be interesting to follow this one over the next couple of years. And here she comes. Oh, still got a great kick on it though. And current queue time of 25 minutes. And the other ride here in Dark Forest then is of course 13, which unfortunately, as you can probably tell, is down, and apparently it's not been operating today at all. They are trying to get it back up into operation. However, Dark Forest is one of those areas that needs to be clear by 6 p.m. For the fireworks, so they do tend to start kind of filtering people out at around about 5, start closing the queues, you know, depending on how busy it is, just to make sure the area is completely clear for 6 o'clock. So whether that will come into operation at some point today, it may do, it may not. It's probably looking unlikely now, actually, as we progress further on into the day. But yeah, and that's just it. So that means Dark Forest just one operating ride when, you know, either one of these rides are down or when both are down, as has been seen recently towards the end of the season. Ride availability here at Alton Towers really has not been great at all, and that's why we really do need some flat rides again. I mean, look at all this space here. You know, there's so much. I mean, Dark Forest actually hasn't had a flat ride since, I think, 2009. I believe the Ugg Swinger was the last flat ride that this area had, and that was actually right here in this space. You got to think, years ago, there were so many flat rides in this area. You know, you had Dino Dancer, you had Energizer. Hey, there goes Rita. Yeah, Energizer, 1001 Nights. Even the Enterprise used to be here years ago. And now, much like X Sector, it does just feel so empty. And obviously when you have rides down, whether it's Rita or whether it's 13, you know, it really does make this area feel even more barren, which is a real shame. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on 13 throughout the day. Oblivion is also still down. And like I say, yeah, it's not been great for Towers again this season in terms of ride availability. I can remember saying at the end of the 2023 season that that was something that really did need to improve for 2024. And, you know, it kind of felt like it did at the start of the season. The start of the season really did start off strong with Forbidden Valley, Nemesis Reborn, everything looking good. But yeah, it seems to be an echo of 2023 that as we've kind of got towards the end of the season, things have kind of started falling apart again, which is sad to see, really. I've got a lot of love for Alton Towers. Got a lot of memories here from, you know, all the way back to my first visit in 1992. There's a lot of nostalgia for me here, and it is sad to see when, you know, ride availability and operations are so poor. I really do hope that improves for next year. Right, let's head on out of Dark Forest and head on over to Mutiny Bay. And as I make my way down to Mutiny Bay, then there's some more setup for the fireworks going on here on the other side of the lake. You've got all the moving heads in place here that are all kind of up and in action, moving around. You've got like this kind of little satellite dish here as well, which I can only assume is for some kind of remote relay, maybe to the fireworks themselves or the launchers or something. I suspect probably more for lighting and audio though, perhaps. I'm not really too sure myself, but also from back here you can see right across the lake and really kind of appreciate the size of those trusses there back on Tower Street with all the speaker equipment there, all the lighting, even the actors on top of some of them. It really is an impressive setup. And just a little bit further down here as well, you've got some of the launchers that you can see all kind of covered up on the other side of these fences. They're all still going into place, still working hard at the back there. But look what they've had to do with one of the trees. It's been completely cut back. It just looks like one big massive spike. Look at that. I wonder if they're actually going to cut it down in its entirety or whether they'll just let that grow back over the next season. But yeah, for whatever reason, they've had to chop that right back. I guess a safety concern. But yeah, it's a little bit of a shame to see, really. It looks very bare. And then right opposite that, we've got another piece of scaffolding in here, and you can see some more of the launchers up the top there with some more of the lights. So yeah, this is actually a new place for fireworks to be launched from. This isn't usually here, this is new. Oh, it really is going to be a phenomenal show. I really cannot wait for it. Fantastic. And I've made my way down to Mutiny Bay, and I'm just kind of really appreciating all the hard work that must go in to getting all of this setup put into place. You know, at the end of Scarefest and the start of the first showing today, there's so much work that needs to be done. All these buildings that have gone into place, all the production offices, it really is impressive. The teams do work exceptionally hard here. It really is great to see. Just had a quick look up at that Skyride station here over on Tower Street / Mutiny Bay, just to see if the gondolas are in place on that station. Unfortunately, it was pretty difficult to actually see in from that vantage point. A lot of trees there, and the station itself is looking pretty dark. I don't know if I'll be able to get a better view from just down here, it didn't look as though any of the gondolas were actually in place. No, it doesn't look like they are. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're on the circuit or not. You can see some ladders and some scaffolding in there. So there is still work that's taking place. But yeah, still no sign of those gondolas as we head on into Mutiny Bay then. An area that opened back in 2008. And who remembers when all this used to be Merry England? Got Heave Ho just off to the left. That opened with the area. Little rocking tug. No one on it. I might jump on myself. Here you go, all the music around here, all the little game stalls, and Marauder's Mayhem as well, which used to be the teacups. Who remembers those? It was a nice re-theme of this area, actually. I still love that thatched roof. I think that's all really nice. And not forgetting that you do also have a sea life here. And it is a good sea life as well. Definitely worth going in if you've not done so. All the little ducks on there. Ah, no animatronic parrot for me today. This is where he usually lives, just here. And obviously just behind this area, not kind of officially part of Mutiny Bay really, is the Wicker Man. GCI wooden coaster opened in 2018 and it is an absolute belter of a ride. Second best wooden coaster in the UK in my opinion. And there is the Sea Life Centre just through there, Shark Bait Reef. And like I say, yeah, definitely worth doing. Mutiny Bay signage. All right, let's go and take a look at Wicker Man. And it's a 30-minute wait for Wicker Man. And there is Big Bob, flame effects and all. Looking and sounding awesome with all the mist effects. It was great to see the flame effects return for 2024. Long may they remain. Day one of the season in 2025, I really hope so. Oh, absolutely awesome. Do love Big Bob. I miss him during the closed season. He's looking and sounding great today. Running 2 trains. And a 30-minute wait is not bad at all for Wicker Man. Absolutely love this ride. It really is phenomenal. Like I said, second best wooden coaster, just behind Megaphobia in the UK. It is absolutely fantastic. Some great elements on here and it absolutely flies through the layout. Great pre-show as well. It's Wicker Man. Definitely got to get a final ride on here for 2024. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Oh, and after an awesome ride on Wicker Man then, it's good to see the Katanga Canyon ducks are back out. Here he is. Hey! Oh, I absolutely love Katanga Canyon. Got the music playing, all the waterfalls, and all the green festoon lighting still around as well. Yeah, it looks great around here. I mean, in terms of these areas really, like Katanga Canyon, Mutiny Bay and Gloomy Wood, nothing really happened throughout 2024, positive or negative really. Of course, we saw the waterfalls come back on the Congo River Rapids. That's now all closed up for its winter maintenance. But hopefully we'll see those waterfalls come back again, day one of 2025. Let's get a lot of things starting on day one next year. That'll be great to see. And yeah, to be honest, it did improve the ride experience on the River Rapids. Of course, that was very much known as being just kind of a lazy river, really. But it certainly improved as the season went on. Of course, it's not looking very great now. All the trough just filled up with all that dirty water. But yeah, it certainly did improve the ride experience throughout the season. You got some good splashes on there, actually, towards the end. And hopefully that's the case when it comes back for 2025. And I do still really like the signage for the Congo River Rapids. I think it's great. 1986 this opened up, manufactured by Intamin, one of the park's oldest rides actually. And talking of oldest rides, we've got the oldest coaster just back here. It is the Runaway Mine Train. Currently just a 5-minute wait. You can't turn down a 5-minute wait for the runaway mine train. Final ride of 2024. Choo choo. Let's jump on.
Thank you very much for riding the runaway mine train, everybody. Please remain seated. Enjoy the ride.
Choo choo. Oh, it's always great to get a ride on the runaway mine train. I've actually only had a handful of rides this season, so it was great to get on there for one final time in 2024. Making my way down to the Curse at Alton Manor now then, and you can probably tell actually we've got all the spooky smoke effects in full action here. Yeah, look at this. It looks really spooky. Yeah, just a 5-minute wait for this one. Absolutely awesome throughput. It is one of the rides here that, you know, kind of towards the end of the season starts to fall apart a little bit in terms of working effects. We'll get on there and see what's working today. The trommel tunnel wasn't working when I rode it for Scarefest, but yeah, we'll see if it's working today. Get a ride on regardless, just a 5-minute wait. And here we go then for the final time in 2024. Time to say goodbye to Emily Alton. Until next year, we'll be back. And straight on to the Curse of Alton Manor then, as has pretty much been the case all throughout the season. It's got such a great throughput, that ride. Very rarely do you wait any longer than 5 or 10 minutes. Sadly though, as expected, yeah, a lot of the effects not working in there. A lot of the scenes with the dolls kind of coming out towards the car weren't working. Some of the lighting wasn't working in there. And of course the trommel tunnel was still down. It is at the end of the season. Obviously those repairs hopefully will get made, and Curse will be feeling nice and fresh again at the start of the 2025 season. Anyway, making my way down to Forbidden Valley now then. This was the area that had the biggest makeover for the start of 2024. Let's go take a look. And here we are then at the final area to wrap up for 2024, and it was of course the one that underwent the most drastic change at the start of this season. It is Forbidden Valley, and I do love this signage still with all the lighting up there. Phalanx facility overtaken by those tentacles spelling out Forbidden Valley. A really nice touch. You got the tank still here looking nice and fresh. Nemesis Subterra currently on a 30-minute wait. And you had the arcade here, which was all nicely refurbed as well. I still wish they had done a little bit more with that space. A big space in there. I would have liked to have seen it become a little bit more than just an arcade. However, from the exterior, it does look great. Arcade training facility. And yeah, this whole area was just kind of reimagined with a new storyline. Nemesis was obviously reimagined and retracked for its 30th anniversary. Absolutely incredible. And some of the new theming that they got in here, like this helicopter, was just absolutely incredible. I mean, look at that. Offers some nice kinetics to the area with all the movement. The landing pad that it's on, kind of the ammo crates, the audio, yeah, it really is fantastic. And I like the throwback as well to Thunder Valley. Of course, that's what this area used to be when I very first visited Alton Towers. I remember riding Thunder Looper here. And here you had all these kind of new tentacles going in. And everything was just kind of nicely refreshed for the start of 2024. And like I say, it just feels like that was kind of 2 months ago or something, you know? And here we are at the end of the season. Nemesis Containment Zone. I do love Forbidden Valley. It is absolutely superb. You got the blade just back through there, which actually sits in the trench that was once occupied by Thunderlooper all those years ago. And there goes Nemesis. Oh, it's great to see all the effects working on her. The big eye, all the smoke. Absolutely incredible. Nemesis Reborn, a 30-minute wait. I mean, they've done just such an absolutely amazing job, didn't they? I mean, look at it. It still looks absolutely fantastic. The station was all completely redone. The new story involving the Phalanx, or the street theatre they had around here, and the track itself does look absolutely brilliant. The black with the red vein effect on there, I think it's great. Absolutely fantastic. How many rides have you managed to get in on Nemesis Reborn this season? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know, for those of you that maybe can remember the opening day of the original Nemesis back in 1994, let me know, do you prefer the original Nemesis or this reimagined version? I've got to say, if I am being 100% honest, nothing can beat that feeling of being here on opening day for 1994 Nemesis. I mean, Nemesis broke the rule book back then. You know, we had never seen anything like it in Europe, and it was just that, you know, kind of special feeling of it being just really, truly brand new, you know, and that effect was never replicated with obviously the retrack, because of course you get B&M inverts everywhere now. But that's not to take anything away from it. I still think this is a really special ride. And here she comes into that first inversion. Oh, absolutely phenomenal, it really is. And of course all the queue line was redone at the top here, offering some new views of the ride. There was some new props that obviously went up there as well, with some new sound effects. It was an absolutely fantastic job. I will say there are some areas of the queue line up there that I would like to see kind of more blocked in over the closed season. I don't like seeing the views of the car park when you're up there, or seeing the views of the queue line when you're coming through the car park. I do feel like that needs to be closed off a little bit better. But otherwise, yeah, you do get some great photo opportunities up there in the queue. And what an absolutely incredible ride. It really is great. 4 inversions and some great forces. 30-minute wait. Let's jump on. And let's not forget that absolutely awesome remastered soundtrack as well. It sounds so good. And look at this view. Absolutely incredible. The downward helix down there, the 0G, the corkscrew right in front of us. The stall turn out the back with those waterfalls. Hey! And as much as they didn't come back red, all the new lighting around the ride, the red lighting, does kind of make it look like blood anyway, certainly at night. Look forward to seeing that a little bit later on when I get my night ride in on here. Absolutely awesome. Love it. And like I say, the props around here all look really good. And these have kind of been added to as well as the season has progressed. This gun looks absolutely awesome now. All the detailing on there looks great. All the ammo cases down the bottom as well. Absolutely incredible. Now the good news is that Nemesis is now back on 2 trains, which is great to see. The bad news is it has currently just gone down due to a guest illness. So yeah, someone's not quite been able to hold their stomach on the ride. Not quite sure how long that's going to mean the ride is down for. Hopefully it'll be back up soon. I'm going to join the queue anyway. If I'm waiting any longer than kind of 10-15 minutes, then I'll make my way back out. It is approaching 5 o'clock and I do want to be back down on the lawns ready for the start of that show. Let's see how it goes. And there's just a closer look at those waterfalls. Really does look great, doesn't it? They've done a phenomenal job with the theming and the crashed helicopter up here. And Nemesis Reborn at night looks absolutely glorious with all the red lighting. And let's not forget the station as well, an absolutely glorious job that they've done on Nemesis herself, including on the interior with the time dispatch sequences. What I will say though is I really hope they get the front row queue back. That's the only thing that's missing at the moment. Then a little bit of a delay due to that illness. However, 40 minutes later we're here in the station, and this was expertly done as well, wasn't it? Absolutely love it. All the veins in the ceiling. Right, it's time for my ride. Let's go. And I have just had my ride on Nemesis Reborn then. Waited a little bit longer than the 30 minutes advertised thanks to that passenger illness. But, you know, that's no fault of the park. These things happen. You've got to bear in mind, this is a really intense ride. So for those that might have a little bit weaker stomachs or maybe have just had some food, yeah, let that digest a bit first before you hop onto here. It's absolutely brilliant. There's some great forces. The downwards helix is definitely my favorite part of the ride. It really does just feel like it's tearing your legs off of your body. 4 inversions on this one. You've got the first corkscrew into a 0G loop, you've got the vertical loop, and then the final inversion. Hey, this corkscrew that you can see just behind me, and I absolutely love it. The waterfalls are just great now that they're back. I love approaching into that stall turn, looking down and just seeing all the water running down. It's absolutely brilliant. I will say though, that was running really terribly, really shaking, really rattling throughout the entire layout. Now I'm not too sure if that's the train that had been taken off. It has been running reduced capacity recently. It is back on 2 trains, so I don't know if that's the train that was taken off, the problem train, or whether it's the one that pre-existed. But it was really rattling. Yeah, it's not often that I get off of Nemesis and feel a bit of a headache coming on, but that has happened tonight, which is a shame. I absolutely love the ride, but I really hope they can take a look at that. It has had issues throughout the year. Usually on that final turn, it can get quite rattly. However, that was rattling, like I say, on the entire layout. So hopefully that's something that can be looked at during the closed season. Anyway, going to make our way over to the construction of the new flat ride now then. Nothing much has changed since I covered it in the Scarefest vlog. However, there is some new theming that's gone into place. Let's go have a look. And here we go then, approaching the construction for the new flat ride here in Forbidden Valley. And yeah, this certainly wasn't in place at Scarefest. Yeah, look at this. All this toxic green tubing and the barrels with 2025 on. Got the smoke effects coming out of here as well. It's a nice little photo op actually. And you got all the lighting around as well, all the green lighting. Not much has changed in terms of construction behind the construction walls, as we touched on back in the Scarefest vlog. You've obviously got the accessibility lift has gone in, some steps have gone in around on the other side, and the structure itself looks to be pretty much finished. You've got those anchor points for the ride that are in place here, and yeah, certainly not going to be long until we see the ride itself coming in. But yeah, I really do like this. Lends again, lends kind of proof to the name of it being Toxicator, or certainly something toxic related, that hopefully suspended Huss topspin that'll be taking over this site. Like I say though, I do think that this theming and everything would have looked a lot better over in X Sector. It kind of clashes a little bit with the black and red that they have here and the black and yellow of like the blade. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll obviously reserve full judgment until I see it for myself. I mean, I'd like to see the ride and how that's all going to be themed up, and obviously, you know, this main kind of plinth itself, how that all gets themed up. So yeah, I'm not going to be too critical of it yet. But yeah, as I said earlier, I do think X Sector is the area that did deserve a new flat ride for 2025. But we'll see how it looks. Really excited for it. Submit to the spin. And here's just a different angle then of the structure itself, atop which the ride will sit. All nicely lit up actually with these floodlights. You can see just towards the back there where those steps have gone in. And you've got all this kind of green flashing lights all around the construction walls here as well. And you've also got the audio. Oh, it's a great tease. I fully expect to see or hear something during the fireworks display a little bit later on. There's going to be a tease to this, 100%. I do still wonder though if this whole structure was necessary. I mean, I should imagine that this cost the park a lot of money to put in. Like I say, if this was a ride that had gone over into X Sector, they probably wouldn't have even bothered with something like this. But again, it's something I'll reserve judgment on until a little bit later on. I will say that with the top spin, if that's what it is, sitting on top of here, you know, kind of lifting you up to around here, you are going to get a really good vantage point and some really unique views over Forbidden Valley and Nemesis and the surrounding buildings. So either way, it is going to be an incredible experience. Looking forward to riding this in 2025. And speaking of teases during the Fireworks Spectacular, will we see anything alluding to a potential retheme of Galactica? It is the ride here in Forbidden Valley now that really does stand out for all the wrong reasons in terms of theming. It just doesn't fit anymore in this area. But you got to think, it's a ride, it's the original B&M Flyer, open here back in 2002. It is getting pretty old now. So, you know, will it get a retheme or will it be completely removed? I mean, the argument is there that it is kind of coming towards the end of its life, and any retheme that it does have potentially wouldn't last very long. But yeah, looking forward to seeing if anything is mentioned during the display today. I'll be keeping my eyes and ears open. Just a 5-minute wait for Galactica. Gonna give this one a miss today. Just wanted to come down and kind of document it here just in case a retheme does happen over the closed season. I don't suspect it will do, but yeah, just wanted to come and take one last look just in case. It is approaching 5 o'clock now then. It is time for me to make my way back to the lawns to put in some highlights of both the live shows. Oh, fantastic. And of course, the main Fireworks Spectacular. And what's great about events like Scarefest and Fireworks is that it just allows you to view Alton Towers at night, and Gloomy Wood does look absolutely awesome with all the smoke effects and all the lighting. Really spooky. It comes right across the path here underneath all these festoon lights as well. Look at this, you can barely see. It's great. And that was another positive thing about 2024. You know, for the first 3 weekends of the season, we had Alton After Dark, which was another opportunity to get those night rides in. And yeah, that's something that I would like to see expanded on in the future. Oh, look at this, so atmospheric. I can't even see if there's anyone right in front of me or not. Yeah, it is a park that I would absolutely love to see open a lot later in the future. And that just doesn't go for Alton Towers, that goes for most theme parks across the UK, because the atmosphere at night in a theme park really is fantastic, especially around Gloomy Wood. Oh, love it. And I've made my way back down to the lawns then, and the live band on the main stage is in full swing. It's just gone 5 p.m, but I just thought I'd give you some idea that people are already starting to kind of sit around here on Tower Street ready for the fireworks, and there's still just over an hour 50 to go before the show starts, and it is Friday as well, the first night. It's not even the weekend, so do bear in mind, if you want a decent spot to sit down, certainly you might want to start thinking about heading down here a good 2 hours before the show starts. Oh, it's a great atmosphere around here. Big crowds down at the main stage. I'm just going to check out the eateries just down here. I might grab myself a sausage. I've had no lunch at all today. It's been quite difficult trying to pack everything in today, meeting some fans of the channel as well, stopping and talking to people and all that kind of stuff. It's a great night. But it does mean, yeah, it's been a bit of a rush to get around. I've had no food. There we go, bratwurst. All your sausages there for £9.50, £2.80 for cold drinks. Oh, it looks absolutely delicious actually. I do quite fancy a sausage tonight. We've also got High Noon Smokery, here we go. Ghost Train Smokery, choo choo, there we are. And just to give you some idea, the choo choo cheeseburger, £11, or or you can have a hot pork roll there for £11 as well. Again, all smells absolutely delicious. And you got the Wunderbar bag decorated up for fireworks, and it is actually open, although the upstairs is currently closed off. Got all your lagers there, £7.50, half pint for £4. You got spirits and mixers. You got a hot toffee cider there for £7 as well. That sounds interesting. And you got your churros and coffee here as well. There we go. Sugar, cinnamon, Belgian chocolate. Looks to be around £6.50. They could do with rewriting that on. It's a bit faded. And chicken and chips is also here as well. There you go. Southern fried chicken and chips for £9. Portion chips £6. £7.50 for your cheesy fries. £2.80 for your cold drinks. Ah, this stage setup looks absolutely awesome. All right, I'll put in some highlights coming up. There then of the live band on the main stage, fully functional, and like I say, they start playing from 5 p.m. all the way through till about 10 minutes before the fireworks start. And I gotta say, I thought they were absolutely brilliant. The stage setup is really good as well, with that extra catwalk that comes out that they're really kind of making use of. It's come forward, bit of a different angle, get nice and close to the crowd. Really, really cool. You got the saxophonist on there, you got the lead guitar, bass guitar, 2 singers, and the drummer, and a great selection of songs as well. They're actually still playing now. I've come back to the front of the lawns to try and secure a better spot for the fireworks, but it's been an absolutely brilliant live band, and I hope that's something that continues throughout future fireworks here at Alton Towers. It's very new, they've never had that before, and it really does work. Really, really enjoyed it. Anyway, coming up next is the highlights of the absolutely awesome Fireworks Spectacular here at the resort. As mentioned throughout this vlog a number of times, do go back and check the video posted yesterday for the full uncut show. Coming up right now though are the highlights.
The Phalanx Expo has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's all been leading to this.
Here we go!
System failure. System failure. System failure. Nemesis unleashed. Weaponry activated. Spacecraft weaponry impact. Defense action engaged. Spacecraft integrity 10%. Submit to the spin. new ride coming, 2025.
And you've just seen some highlights then of the Fireworks Spectacular here at the Alton Towers Resort, and how absolutely incredible was that show. My God, the ground was shaking with some of those fireworks, some real loud boomers in there. And yeah, I really did like the new story, all kind of set to the Phalanx. You had John Dalton there, kind of representative of the Phalanx, kind of just talking about how it was created all those decades ago to kind of provide Earth with a defense force, basically. And you were going through all the different modes of defense, basically. You had the missiles there, the bio shield, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, it was great. But I'll tell you what, the absolute favourite part for me was basically the battle sequence between Nemesis and the invading forces. It was incredible how the fireworks were basically, instead of going up, they were kind of coming sideways and over the crowd. It was an absolutely fantastic effect. I really did enjoy that show. One of the best shows overall as a package that Alton Towers has ever done. The live stage shows, the live band, that was absolutely brilliant. Good song selection, and like I say, good use of the stage. And they sounded really good as well. I would like the crowd to have had a little bit more energy. Felt a little bit sorry for them, but that's typical British, isn't it, really? You know, it takes a lot for us to kind of get up, get the energy and get involved. But they were absolutely brilliant. And yeah, all those screens around for the fireworks show itself, all the flame effects that was in there, it really was absolutely brilliant. Good song selection in there as well, and there wasn't too much in the way of teasers for the new rides. There's a couple of things that could potentially have been associated with the Galactica retheme. The biggest one, right on the nose at the end there with Submit to the Spin. Didn't really give us any more details though, just had some green fireworks go up, some green lighting, and that Submit to the Spin signage. That was the only teasers that we really got. But oh my God, it really was an absolutely spectacular show. I'm really sad actually that Alton Towers is 2.5 hours drive from me. Otherwise I would have been here all 3 nights. It was that good. Absolutely loved it. Oh, solid 9 out of 10 for me. It was great. And here we go then, made my way back to Forbidden Valley. Of course, there's only one night ride that you really need to have here at Alton Towers, and it is Nemesis Reborn. Look at the lighting package on that. It really is absolutely awesome. Oh, come on Alton Towers, you need to do more late openings in the future. We can't just have this at Scarefest and fireworks and potentially 3 weekends at the start of the season. I mean, look at this. It's just absolutely phenomenal, and just a 15-minute wait. I have kind of, I have moved down to here at pace. I am pretty out of breath, to be honest. But I wanted to make sure that I got at least a couple of rides in tonight on Nemesis Reborn. Let's go. Just had 2 night rides then on Nemesis Reborn, waited about 25 minutes each time. Last ride was a front row, and I'll tell you what, that ride at night is absolutely exceptional. It's brilliant. Wicker Man comes close, don't get me wrong, but I think this is the granddaddy of the dark rides, or night rides should I say, here at the Alton Towers Resort. Absolutely flying through that layout, all of the lighting, the smoke effects working. It is absolutely incredible. I love it to bits. I'm really going to miss it over the closed season. Oh, here she comes. Oh, it's just absolutely brilliant. Gives me chills. The eye back here as well. Take it easy, Nemi. I will see you again in the new year. Funnily enough, I have just been over and had another ride on Cursed Alton Manor as well, and all the effects that weren't working earlier, with the exception of the trommel tunnel, were all working on my second ride, so that was a little bit strange. So yeah, good to see they're all working again on Curse. Hopefully the trommel tunnel gets fixed next year. Gonna make my way out to the exit of the park now then, and then we'll be wrapping up today's vlog. And Galactica, I will see you next year, potentially in a new form, but more than likely, probably still just as Galactica. The original B&M Flyer from 2002. Absolutely awesome. And as one last top tip for anybody coming down for the fireworks, I've spoken to a lot of people today that actually come up to get their night rides on Nemesis, and then they go all the way back to Tower Street to exit the park. Do know that you can exit the park through here. You don't have to be a hotel guest. You need to be a hotel guest to use this as an entrance, but you can exit the park. So yeah, if you are kind of parked around this area in car park F like I am tonight, which is kind of right at the top, save your legs, don't go all the way back down to Tower Street. You can exit up here. Come and get a couple of night rides on Nemesis, and then exit via the gate found underneath Galactica's first drop there, through the portal. And as Galactica gives its last few rides of the night then, that is where I'm going to be wrapping up today's vlog. And here she comes. Oh, in the background. Sounds absolutely brilliant. And look, you know what? Today has been absolutely brilliant. The focus obviously... The focus obviously was the fireworks for tonight, and they were absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed them. The live band on the stage setup, the fireworks, the audio, the lasers, the story with the Phalanx and Nemesis Reborn, absolutely brilliant. I can honestly say that that is the best fireworks show in the UK. And you know what, even part of me is including the London New Year's fireworks in that as well. I really do think it's a spectacular show here, well worth watching. Operationally, the park hasn't been too bad today, actually. Yes, we've seen little pockets of downtime here and there, and the park hasn't been all of that busy until obviously the evening when people started coming in for the fireworks. But yeah, it hasn't actually been too bad. Very much improved on where it has been over the past couple of weeks. And look, without wanting to kind of repeat myself and go through all the negatives and positives that I've spoken about already in this vlog, if there's one thing that I really hope Alton Towers improves next year, it is their maintenance staff, getting those skilled workers in, expanding the team if that's what they need to do. Because like I say, I feel like the season here did start off quite strong. It just completely fell apart at the end with ride availability and ride operations. And you know, it really has affected the park in a negative way, reputation wise. A lot of people were very unhappy. A lot of people expressing concern and disappointment both at the park and online, and it's not good to see. You know, as I said before, you know, this park holds a special place for me, nostalgically. You know, I mean, like I say, I was nearly 10 years old, not even 10 years old, when I came and visited this park for the first time back in 1992. I love it. There's a lot of memories here for me, and I don't like seeing it, you know, being spoke about in a negative way. It makes me feel quite sad, really, because I do really love it here. And the thing is, the last thing you want is to have a negative reputation in your park. It's dangerous when you've got things like Universal potentially on the horizon over in Bedford. You want your park to be the best that it can be, to really kind of, you know, fight that competition if it does arrive. And yeah, the last sort of month or two of the season here at Towers really hasn't been the best, and it was a sort of a big shame to see. I feel like I'm echoing myself from what I said at the end of 2023. There needs to be an improvement there. I hope 2025 we have things like the waterfalls on Nemesis, the waterfalls on Congo River Rapids. I hope we have the Skyride open on day one. I hope Hex doesn't suffer anymore from reliability issues. You know, everything like that has to be running like clockwork next season, you know. That's what I want to see. I feel like on the whole it has been a good season, like 7 out of 10 really. It was just that last hurdle where the park fell down, and yeah, as long as they can look at that and improve on that for next year, then everything will be great. Like I say, get some more supporting flat rides in, get Project Horizon underway, and we can have some really good things to look forward to in 2026 and beyond. But I'm going to miss it for the closed season. Going to miss Nemi, going to miss Galactica, going to miss Curse even, Wicker Man. It's horrible, you know, those 3-4 months of the downtime, the out of season. It's it's not the best feeling, but we will be back in March, day one of that opening season, coming up here back in Forbidden Valley to ride that new flat ride, Submit to the Spin. In terms of the next vlog coming up though, right here on Adventure Planet, I will be back at Chessington's World of Adventures for what? Well, the Christmas events. We're at that time again already. Christmas events are starting to get underway, and we'll be back there for Winter's Tale, checking out all the decorations, the theming, the shows, and getting back on some of my favorite rides there as well. And we'll also check out the Mexicana area and Wild Asia, just to see if there's anything happening around those areas on the back of the news that both of those areas are going to be redeveloped. That's coming up next here, right on Adventure Planet. But for the last time in 2024, from the Alton Towers Resort, I want to thank you so much for watching. And as always, happy riding, everybody. And I shall see you at Chessington.